Are you fed up with spending your hard-earned money on crafty supplies that can only be used once a year? Let's use seasonal dies to create cards for completely different holidays and get more value out of those supplies. Let's get crafting. All of my cards today are going to feature this SIZZIX die set called Santa Greetings, which is a colorized die set along with the alphabet, and Riley and Company Online's stamp and die set, and this is the Dress Up Riley starter accessories set, and it's going to help us with a bunch of cards. Now, all I did was change Santa's colors. I made him green, and I changed his beard color to red, and added some black and gold accents for his belt, and I cut his hat off because I went ahead and stamped out the top hat, colored it with some Copics, added a remnant from the gold metallic, and created a top hat for our little leprechaun. Now, just a tip, when you spend a lot of time on an element of a card, don't spend a lot of time on the rest of it. This is pattern paper, and I'm going to make that as my background for my little leprechaun. Ironically, this is actually packaging from a Vicky Booten stencil set. I like her packaging because I can use just about every part of it. I have cut my rainbow panel down to 4 by 5 1/4, and the black panel is a standard A2 size, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And I'm going to adhere the rainbow panel to my black panel with some Bearly Arts Precision Craft Glue, which is my absolute favorite glue of all. I thought the rainbow here really reflected well with the leprechaun. I also cut out 2 of each of the letters for Oh Happy Day. So this could be a birthday card or a congratulations card for something in March, who knows? But my thought process was that there are very few birthday cards for St. Patrick's Day. Now, I know that probably sounds weird, but I know this firsthand because my birthday is on St. Patrick's Day, and I was born on my grandmother's birthday. So very often we would get the same birthday card for each other, and very often we would get the same birthday card year after year because that's all that you could find in the grocery stores. So this was my homage to my grandmother and to our birthday. Now, if you have problems or struggle with getting your letters straight on your card panel, this is a great way to do it. I'm just lining my letters up on my glass mat, and I know that my card panel is 4 inches, so I'm staying within those 4 inches or 4 squares, lining up, and then I'm going to use some low-tech mint tape, and I'm going to cover half of it and lift off the letters all in one fell swoop so that I can glue everything. Were you born on a holiday? If you were, let me know in the comments below. With the glue on the back of my letters, I'm going to line up my little leprechaun and place my letters down onto the card. Now, I kind of forgot that this particular layer is very slick, so the letters did shift, but I just fix that up and go ahead and lay an acrylic block on top of it to hold it down. My little leprechaun is going to be adhered with some double-sided tape. This one is from scrapbook.com. You could certainly use foam tape to pop up our leprechaun. You could also use additional white paper scraps if you wanted to put those behind. If you haven't seen my white paper scrap video, please consider checking it out. I'll leave a link up top for you. But I have loads of ways for you to be able to use up all of those white scraps that we paper crafters amass a huge quantity of. Now you notice that I did cut down Santa's hat because I want the top hat to sit on top, and I want it to kind of be comical, so it is much smaller for the size of his head. But this got popped up with just a little bit of foam tape to kind of give it a jaunty tilt. For the rest of the sentiment, the word day is going to be cascaded down the right side of the card. And we're just going to glue it to a panel, and this one is done. Did you ever think that you'd make a leprechaun from a Santa Claus die set? Me either, but it was a lot of fun. And this next one is also inspired by a birthday. My next card is heading into the fall, and I'm going to be using the Spellbinders detailed embossing folder called Falling Leaves, along with a selection of fall-inspired colors of mica stains, mica sprays and distress oxide sprays. So I have embossed this, and it is a beautiful folder, especially because it's not 3D, but boy, it is just stunning. And I'm going to bring out my little makeshift spray box and have some fun here. So I'm going to use a mica spray. This one is called Mulled Cider, so it's a muted red color, but I do need to give it a good shake because when they're stored for any period of time, the mica settles to the bottom. And in order to get that shimmer, you need to shake them up. Now, sometimes I'm doing two at a time here, but you can shake them a couple different ways. If you shake them top to bottom, you may end up with some of the spray coming out of the top, which is exactly what happened with this particular one. If you kind of shake it like a bell, you don't tend to have that. It's just from buildup inside a buildup of pressure inside that container. Next, I'm going to use some Distress Oxide spray. This one is crushed olive. And don't be afraid to mix and match your sprays. It doesn't matter if one's an oxide, one's a stain, one's a mica. It doesn't matter. Just have fun with it. So I really wanted some layers here. And in order to do that, I'm just adding some water and getting those inks to run just a little bit. This is really a base coat at this point, and I'm going to go ahead and heat set it and continue on. I'll be right back. Okay, the first layer is dry, and I have used Yuletide, another mica spray, and added quite a bit of water and got those inks moving. And I'm going to heat set again. And I'm just going to continue to do this until the panel is perfect for me. With the next layer dry, I'm checking to see whether or not it's covered enough or if I need something else. And here I'm using some mica spray. Now this is a standard mica spray. This one's called Tarnished Brass. I just wanted to kind of give it that fall foliage look. And once again, just adding a little water to spread it out. And I'm going to heat set this one as well. And then we're going to get this card put together. Just a pretty lightweight watercolor card for this. So I am using a 1/2 inch scrapbook.com double-sided tape, and I'm not going to bore you with taping it. So I'm going to skip ahead and get this panel put on my layer. Did you figure out who I turned Santa Claus into? Well, if you guessed a pilgrim, you would be right. Just by changing out his colors, it completely transforms his appearance. I gave him a reddish brown beard, I changed his clothes to black and brown, and I gave him a brown pilgrim's hat. I added the sentiment, "Give thanks" in metallic gold card, and off we go to another one. I've saved the best for last, and I'm going to be doing some stenciling with some lunar paste. So let's get this background done so I can show you my favorite Santa transformation. He's up next. The stencil I'm using is a Simple Stories stencil. It is called Magical Fireworks, and I really like this stencil. It's super flat and doesn't have any really sharp edges that raise up when you use it. But I am using the Slippery When Wet color of Lunar Paste. Now, if you've never used Lunar Paste, it is a fantastic paste. The amount of shine that comes off this stuff is amazing. But I'm just going to tack down my black cardstock so it stays on my glass mat without wiggling around. And I'm also going to tape, oh, I speak well at this hour, tape down my stencil. I am using press and seal over the top of my lunar paste as well as all of my other pastes because you want to keep out the air and it stays fresh longer if you do. If you leave it open to the elements, it will dry and it's not going to last nearly as long. Now we are going to scrape across a fairly thin coat of lunar paste, and you don't have to worry about wasting a lot of product because we're going to scrape most of the excess right off that stencil and put it right back into the container. Seal it back up with some press and seal and wash off your stencil and your utensil. Make sure you keep those things damp. Don't let the lunar paste or any texture paste for that matter dry on your utensils or your tools or your stencil because it becomes kind of permanent. However, if some of your texture paste ends up drying out on your glass mat, use a spray of alcohol or some gel sanitizer and it'll come right up. It's a great quick fix for all of those sprays. Now, check out that shine. Oh my goodness, it is so pretty, y'all. Wait till you see what Santa Claus becomes next. A few days ago, I asked or put out a community post asking if you would like to have a just for fun challenge. And I had quite a few people tell me yes. So if you'd like to participate, it is literally just for fun. And I want you to get more value out of your crafty supplies. So find one stamp or one die set that is for a specific holiday or season and transform it. Transform it as many times as you like. I'm going to do my third card, but I actually have a fourth card that I'm going to save and post on my Facebook page. Probably in the next couple of days. It's almost done. Find me on Facebook at Village Card and Crafts. I can't wait to see what you guys make. With our lunar paste completely dry, I'm going to go ahead and adhere that down to an A2 card panel. Look at the shine. And I did cut this down just slightly so that there would be a small white border. I'm just going to tack it down with some of my favorite Bearly Arts Precision Craft Glue once again. And did you figure out what the last one is? All right, I turned Santa into Uncle Sam. How cute is he? And I've got that firework border and I made a top hat that's striped just for him. I'm not going to add a sentiment to this one just because I don't know what I want it to say yet, but I'm going to leave space for it at the top. He's so cute, isn't he? Here's a quick look at the 3 cards that I made. Don't forget, I'm going to post a 4th on Facebook and check out some of my other videos before you head out of here. Thanks for watching. I'll see you real soon.